Hola, hola. Hello, PhotoPillers. Rafael the Bar here. Welcome to another masterclass. Today, we're going to learn how to photograph storms with Mr. Rob Gallucci. Rob,
Hey,
thank you so much
everybody.
for coming. Welcome to the show.
Thanks. Thank you. I appreciate it. Love to be here with you.
Yeah, amazing. I'm so excited because this is going to be our, I think, almost last presentation for the summer. I don't know, but I am expecting a baby in July, so I don't know if I'll have time to do more presentations. So, I think it's a very appropriate topic on storms and lightning and stuff like that.
And this is the time of year that they're happening. So this is when you want to be looking for them.
Awesome.
Congratulations on the baby. That's awesome. That's great news.
I know that you'll tell us about a bit about you when we start presentation, but what are we going to learn today here?
So I thought we'd go over a little bit of background on me very quickly. A little bit of background on Southern Arizona, where we live in Cochise County, and why it's such a great storm chasing area, but also why it's such an interesting area photographically, and why I decided to move down here. And then I was going to go into more detail on how to chase storms, what type of storms to chase, the different types of lightning shots that you can get, what your settings should be, what the apps that you should use, and basically go over and answer any questions that anybody has about chasing storms.
Awesome. And that's great because, as always, we have the great Sandra Vallaure with us in the chat. So, guys, if you have questions, please leave your questions in the comments, and Rob will answer them for you. So, Rob, are you ready? I am ready.
Yeah, I'm going to get to the, tell me when the first slide is visible.
It is visible now.
Great.
Yeah.
So thank you, everybody, for coming in and allowing me here. We're going to be talking about lightning and storm photography. My name is Robert Gallucci, and we're going to talk about how to get the shot. But first, I have a little surprise for everyone. Through partnerships with various companies, I have gotten a breakthrough photography filter kit. So these are X4, they're best filters, 6-stop and 3-stop filters, and a step down ring and a lens cover, which we're going to be raffling off today. And I also have 2 MK Controls lightning bugs, and that is the trigger that I use, and I use it for all my daytime and sunset, and when there's a storm during sunrise shots. There's a lot of triggers out there. There's some decent ones out there. There are some that aren't as decent. I put the MK Controls lightning bug up with the best. So I'm going to be giving away 2 of those. So you can register www.rgallucci.com PhotoPills, and you'll enter your name and your email address. And I will take all those entries up till about 6 o'clock tonight, and 6 o'clock Mountain Standard Time tonight. And then I will draw the winners and notify them by email.
Awesome. Amazing. Not gadgets, but gear for raffle. So thank you so much, you guys, for offering this opportunity. And yeah, run to the website and introduce your data, because today is the day, and we are now 246 people live. So
outstanding.
Yeah, can't wait. Thank you, Rob.
You're welcome. So and Raphael, just side note, while I'm presenting, can't see the chat box, so if you can let me know the questions, I'd appreciate it.
I will.
Okay, so who am I? I don't know. I'm just some guy from New York that picked up a camera one day, and I started taking pictures in New York of the moon way back before it was as popular as it is today. I started out with Jennifer Cordy, who also did a class, and some other people. And actually, this shot, I think, won a PhotoPills of the Month award. I think that was the first one I won from you. But shooting New York from the New Jersey side is an incredible thing. You can get some amazing shot. This is a secret location I have in New Jersey, which gives a beautiful, just almost Wizard of Oz leading line into the city. This shot was a dream shot. Great story behind it. The owner of the building I was standing on actually came up to me as I was shooting from the street and said, "Wouldn't that shot be better if you were higher up?" I said, "Yeah, but I can't get higher up." He says, "Come on upstairs." And he let me on this tar roof, no guardrails, nothing. And I sat up there like a kid in a candy store to get this shot. And I take my workshop students there now when we go to New York in October. Again,
Nice.
The full moon over the city. You've got the Empire State Building. You've got all the iconic buildings here. Another very popular shot I took, the full moon on the Brooklyn Bridge, but I couldn't stay in New York. It just wasn't for me anymore. We were sitting there one November, and we had come to Arizona 6 months earlier, and it was cold. And we said, "What the heck are we doing here?" So we did a Beverly Hillbillies, packed up the car, and moved to Arizona. And I wanted to continue to shoot the moon. So I went out and I got this cool shot of the full moon over a saguaro, and a plane just happened to be flying through. This was shot with an 800 millimeter lens from about 3 miles away. But I couldn't find things to shoot. So I started looking for them. We have these great rock formations in Arizona called hoodoos. And I planned the shot. Raphael, I used PhotoPills to the max to figure out when this shot was going to happen. I was so proud of this shot. And I went home and I showed it to my wife, and she looked at me and she said, "You took a shot of the moon on a penis?" And I died. And I just said, "What?" And you gave this shot of PhotoPills of the month. And if anybody goes back in the PhotoPills of the month archives and takes a look at the comments, it's just a long list of "I see it, I see it, I see it."
It's like real life is like that.
Yeah, and I had no idea. Oh well, so I figured maybe I should shoot something else. I'm an avid birder, and Cochise County, where I live, is probably the hummingbird capital of the world. This is a Lucifer hummingbird. It's a very rare hummingbird in the United States. We have exotic birds, elegant trogons, and a lot of times during my workshops, I take if they're interested, I take the participants to see some of these birds. I actually got so fanatic, I set up a hummingbird studio in my yard. So it's a 6 flash setup, and you're actually shooting these at 1/250th of a second. And because of the flash, you can stop the wings, but I didn't plan this shot. Obviously, you can't plan this. But I do like to shoot. Hummingbirds are the most violent birds on the planet. So I do like them shoot them engaging with each other. The other thing Cochise County is known for is Bortle 4 to Bortle 1 skies. It is truly dark. And working with the town of Bisbee, there's this old town called Lowell, and I have 2 times a year them turn off the lights in this. So this is the first shot, and this is a pretty well-known shot for me that I took, and it was the lights were on. You can see when I edited, I forgot to take out the light. I took out the light post, but I didn't take out the lights. But these shots were taken with the lights off. Sometimes we ask them to turn on a light in a building, and you can see where the town ends. That's where the lights begin. But it's a great Milky Way location, and I run 2 or 3 workshops there a year. This guy who owns this store, he's responsible for the whole street. He has a ton of neon signs, and he always comes out at 2 in the morning, turns them on for us for a little while so we can get this shot, and then goes back to bed.
My God.
So it's a fantastic place. But, it's a dark sky area. So we have saguaros with the Milky Way. We have hoodoos. This is Chiricahua National Park with the Milky Ways. We have caves in the Dragoons that you can shoot through to get the Milky Way. It's just an open field, and not a lot of photographers have been here. Forgive me, I have the hiccups. Not a lot of photographers have been here. So the shots you're going to get here are going to be unique. This shot is one of the ones I'm most proud of. This is a 100% PhotoPill shot. We planned the entire shot in PhotoPills. We figured out the focal length we needed to be able to get the I'm going to take a sip of water or coffee.
No worries, no worries. We're in family here.
But the beautiful thing about this eclipse was that it started just at sunset. So I did put a gradient on here to show the dark sky, because it finished at 11 o'clock at night, a pure dark sky, but it started during sunset. So I was able to get the foreground in nautical twilight and then watch it get darker. So 100% due to PhotoPills. Again, dark skies, you can shoot this with a regular camera. I'm a real big fan of Lincoln Harris's method of shooting star trails. Unfortunately, they tore down this house, but we have tons of places you can shoot star trails here. So
yeah, I tried to get the Lincoln to come and teach here. Like, he's so busy. He told me I'm so busy.
I don't know if you've listened to his class.
No.
So
we bought it. We bought it. Anthony from the team, he has it, but yeah.
It's great. It's a long class, and it's complicated in the way he does things is very precise. But once you get the technique down, it's just an amazing way to shoot star trails.
Mm-hmm.
So why am I showing a lush field with flowers and green and mountains in the background? Because this is what Arizona looks like during monsoon season.
I don't believe you.
It's you gotta come. Just come visit. Bring the baby.
I will.
It is just a spectacular transformation. 10 months of the year, Arizona is shades of brown. 1 to 1.5 months of the year, it turns into this beautiful, magnificent, lush pasture. I mean, you just get green fields. I call this my Palouse because I've never been to Palouse, and this has the rolling hills in it. But you get these amazing, it's during monsoon, you get these amazing weather patterns that bring in these great storm fronts. And if you shoot at sunset, this is one of my favorite shooting locations. You can just get incredible shots. For people that know Native American mythology, there's a bird called the Thunderbird, and it supposedly lives in Arizona, and it's responsible for our storms. And I happen to capture this shot, and I think it looks just like a Thunderbird and getting ready to pluck its rainbow worm. But, we're here to talk about lightning. And lightning has become just the passion of my life. My wife knows that during monsoon, she becomes a monsoon widow. I will be out I plan the shots in the morning. The day before in the morning, I plan the locations. I watch the storm radar. I watch the forecast, and I am out the door and chasing storms every day that they have them. And we have them almost every day. In July and August, come 3 o'clock, around between 1 and 3 o'clock, we're going to get a storm. So chasing storms is about the most exciting thing I've found as a photographer that you can do. I haven't found anything that even comes close. From the planning to the excitement of going out there and seeing the storm, to finding the right location to shoot it, to setting up, to just every time you capture a strike, it's just like you're doing a little dance. It's just amazing. And I'm going to show you, I don't know, probably 40 shots of sights. I am not exaggerating when I tell you that over 4 years I have probably close to 800 or 900 lightning strikes that I just haven't gotten a chance to edit.
Do you have a behind the scenes of you dancing?
I don't, but I'll get one this year during one of my workshops.
You should.
It's really a crazy dance. I don't know any other storm photographer that does it, but I just get so excited I can't help myself. So let's talk about how we shoot lightning. So in any conversation about shooting storms or shooting lightning or storm chasing, we have to start by talking about safety. We always have to remember that lightning can kill you. Now, I don't know of anybody that's been killed in Arizona by a strike, but you know, you're a split second away from that happening. I do know people that have come pretty close to getting hit. There are pictures of people that I know with their hair starting to stand up. You don't ever want to be in that situation, but you have to know the dangers. You know, lightning can kill you. Flash floods can kill you. I laughed when we first moved here because on every road there do not enter when flooding, and I said we're in the desert. And then I saw my first flash flood. It happens in a second. It's all the water draining from the mountains into the valleys. It's carrying tree branches and stones and boulders with it, and it will take your car and destroy it, and it will kill you. Severe storms. Last year, we made a mistake in our planning. We ended up in the middle of the most severe storm I've seen down here. We couldn't move for about an hour because we couldn't see. You literally couldn't see beyond the windshield. So you have to put safety in. I show this shot with it as an example. We were on an empty road shooting lightning ahead of us. We weren't paying attention. This is when I first started shooting lightning, to the storm coming up behind us. Just as we were triggering for this shot, a strike hit about a quarter of a mile behind us. And God just gave us a flash bulb. There's no artificial lighting in this. That was a lightning strike behind us. We left immediately after that. So I break down lightning into the different types of lightning photography you can do. And the first and the easiest, and the one that you use if you don't know the location that you're at and you can't pick great shooting locations, is just capturing the strike. It's an amazing shot. It's always exciting, and it's perfect if you don't know an area, but you just want to track a storm into it. So, I mean, capturing a strike, you know, when I was first doing storm photography, that's what I loved. I mean, it was just, you know, thrilling to be able to go out and you know, to capture these amazing phenomena. And everyone is different and everyone is beautiful. Okay, but eventually you may tire of just capturing a strike, and you're going to go to wanting to capture things that are more visually compelling, and you start going into landscape shots. So you start planning and finding locations, and that's one of the advantages of going on a workshop when you're chasing. And it doesn't matter if you're chasing tornadoes in the Midwest or if you're chasing monsoon in Arizona. If you go with somebody who knows the best places to shoot, you've got a better shot of getting a more interesting, you get a better chance of getting a more interesting shot. It requires more planning. You need to know the area to pick the spots, and you're committing to a spot could mean that you're going to get fewer shots, but the shots that you do get are going to get more, be more visually compelling. This shot, I've gotten a lot of comments on this shot. This shot is actually in Mexico. We are in Cochise County, and where I live, we're about 12 miles from the border. And the way storms during monsoon happen and come up, very often they'll come up through one of two valleys. Our valley, which is the San Pedro Valley, or the valley next to us, which is the San Rafael Valley. And these valleys are created by the Sky Island Mountains, which is a mountain chain that's not connected. Each one is an individual mountain range, and they'll funnel a lot of these storms into these valleys. So this mountain, San Jose Mountain, is actually in Mexico. This is a positive strike, and you can always tell a positive strike is it's coming out the top of the cloud and coming away from it. That's the most dangerous strike. That's the one that can go 20 miles and potentially kill you. But they're always beautiful when you can capture them. This is the first shot that I got in when I moved to Arizona. It's got a great leading line. On the left-hand side, you can see a massive hailstorm coming down. On the right-hand side, you can see the lightning, and this is actually the mountain range behind my house. We found this little homestead out in the middle of nowhere. There's a lot of out in the middle of nowhere in Cochise County. We're an hour from Tucson, and everything is far apart. You come from New York, where you go down to the corner. If you're cooking and you need some parsley, you go to the corner. You don't turn the oven off. My nearest supermarket is 14 miles away. So, but it's a beautiful life here. So I thought this was great. The light from the clouds was just lighting up the homestead. I thought it was beautiful. So I'll probably never get this shot again. It's not a composite. This model was gracious enough to say that she would stand still while the storm rolled in, and we just prayed that it would happen, and it did. And it's just a great opportunity shot.
Impressive.
Thank you. Knowing where to shoot, we were coming back from New Mexico during a workshop, and there was a storm coming in over Tombstone. Tombstone is the famous town where the Battle of the gunfight at the OK Corral happened. And we knew where to stop. We got on high ground, and we got probably a dozen beautiful shots of lightning happening over Tombstone. This is another favorite location where fairly regularly storms are going to come through. There's a century plant coming up in here. You've got this mountain range in the back, and again, you've got this great outflow coming out down here, this microburst, and you've got this beautiful positive strike coming out of the picture. Another mountain range, we call these the gun sight mountains, because it looks like you're looking through a gun sight, and the lightning happened to just strike right in the middle of it. So when should you shoot lightning? Well, sunset is going to be the best time to shoot it. You can get longer exposures. If there are any storm chasers on this broadcast, they are going to groan when I say shoot an aperture priority. We've had this discussion many times. I'll let my portfolio speak for itself. I shoot an aperture priority. The thing that you're most concerned about when you're shooting storms is your shutter speed. But at sunset, using ISO 100, an aperture of f8 or wider, a shutter speed of up to 30 seconds, and an ND3 or a variable ND filter, and a lightning trigger. I say it's recommended. You really do have to have a lightning trigger before dark. And you're going to get some amazing shots. And that's how I shot all of these. This shot's a tribute to my wife. She loves cows. We have a cow pasture near us. I had the cows in the foreground. I've got a full moon going over, and I got a lightning strike. It's got everything.
My God. I love the colors of that photo too.
Oh, yeah. Oh, well, the colors during a storm are incredible, because you've got so much power from the electrical discharge that's throwing out its own color temperature, and then you've got the color temperature of the natural ground, so you can get some amazing colors during that. Another sunset shot from a popular location. I love this shot because you've got a lightning strike about 40 miles away in Mexico. You've got this one happening right near our town, and you've got San Jose Mountain with this little cloud cap on it. It has everything. Just at sunset, you can often get multiple strikes because you've got a little bit of a longer exposure time, and you get all the beautiful colors of the sunset. So, one of the great things about shooting during sunset is the color. The other is, sometimes when you're just shooting the strike, you're not getting some of the most interesting part of the image, which is the cloud formations. You get these dramatic cloud formations when a storm comes in, and they're stunningly beautiful. Depending on what time you're getting, your color scheme is going to change. So shooting at sunset is really the ideal. When to shoot during daytime. Daytime is probably the most difficult time to capture lightning. I know a lot of storm chasers that just don't even bother with it. Your strikes are often thin. We call them spaghetti, or I call them spaghetti strikes, because they're so thin. You don't very often get the leaders off the off the lightning. A lot of time you're just getting just a single streak of light coming down. But again, I shoot this in aperture priority. I go to ISO 50 to increase my shutter time. I shoot at f8 to f16. I can say anecdotally, f8 or wider is better for lightning. You can get shots at f16. I know people that get shots at f22, and I haven't done the test yet to prove it, but I think that the smaller your aperture, the thinner your strikes are going to be. You want a shutter speed. My rule of thumb is I'm always trying to get to a shutter speed of 1/15th of a second or slower. You can capture at 1/60th of a second. I know a friend who just captured a storm in the Midwest at 1/1000th of a second. Lightning strike at 1/1, and she got a beautiful shot from it. Again, ND6 or variable ND filter, you really want to slow that shutter speed down, and you have to have a lightning trigger during the day. Again, I say it's strongly recommended. You have to have it. But during the day, you get some crazy shots. I mean, who knew that lightning could do a loop? I certainly didn't before I got this shot.
Oh, yeah.
The goal or the desire is to get a cloud to ground strike. But sometimes you get a cloud to cloud strike, which is so interesting that you're just ecstatic that you got it. I mean, I love this shot. And when you get lightning in a rainbow, you're doing a happy dance. So went to shoot nighttime. So nighttime is great for getting it. I have multiple shots. I should say multiple strikes. Typically, you're going to be in bulb mode as it gets darker. That ISO is actually wrong. You can go up to ISO 400, depending on if there's a moon out or not, is going to greatly affect what your ISO is going to be. When we have a full moon in this part of the country, it's so bright that you can your settings are so much easier because you've got so much ambient light. Your aperture is going to be 4.5 or wider. You're going to be shooting for 30 seconds to 1 minute. I have shot for 2 minutes, 3 minutes at a time. You're going to exchange getting multiple strikes for really diffusing your clouds. Sometimes that looks nice if you like it, but you're going to get more strikes in your picture. No filters, and you can use a trigger. I prefer at night to use an intervalometer. I found that triggers in general are less accurate at night, and just going with an intervalometer, since I'm shooting for so long, is easier. But that you've seen that shot, you've seen this shot. This is the tombstone shot. So sort of the holy grail, lightning and rainbows. It's everyone's bucket list shot. It can't really be planned, but it can be anticipated, because a rainbow is going to appear when the sun is behind you. So if you know how to read where the storms are going to be, you can position yourself so that the storm is going to be behind you, and you've got a greater chance of getting a rainbow. The air also has to be saturated because a rainbow is a reflection. So, getting a shot at sunset with a rainbow, that was actually my first shot of the year last year. I knew it was going to be a good year. So I actually got, I think, about 15 more in this series. It was just the most incredible storm that came through passed in front of me. The rainbow never quit. The lightning never quit. It just never stopped. And one of the things, an interesting thing you'll notice with rainbow shots, well, I'll show you on the next one. So if you see a double rainbow, and very often here you'll see a triple rainbow, the second rainbow is actually a mirror reflection of the first. So if you notice, the colors are inverse on the second rainbow. So you've got red, green, yellow, green, blue, and then they're going the opposite way on the second one.
Wow.
And then, of course, I can't leave this without going to my hometown. Last year, we were doing a workshop in New York, and there happened to be a storm coming through, and I was able to get It's not my ultimate bucket list lightning shot, but I got lightning in New York, so I was happy. So let's talk about how you do this. So pre-planning is critical if you want to be able to successfully capture a lightning. And pre-planning is going to use online resources, iPhone and iPad apps, finding locations in advance that give you a good view, hopefully 360 degrees, but if not, that give you a good view so you can, if you know that a storm is likely to come through an area, you're in position to get a landscape shot. And again, the drawback to that is you could be committing to a spot that's not going to get as many strikes as other places. On chase day, you have to have your gear loaded and ready to go. You're going to be going on a minute's notice. You're going to be sitting watching the radar on your computer or watching it on your phone, waiting for the storms to start to develop, waiting for the indicators to be there, waiting to see where they're going to be, and then you're going to be out the door. So you don't really have time to pack up and go. You have your gear all loaded and ready to go. Check your batteries. Always have extra batteries. I get a new shipment of batteries from Amazon every month during storm season so that I always know I have fresh batteries. Gas up in advance. You don't want to be looking for a gas station in the middle of nowhere, and you don't want to have to look for a gas station. Bring foods and snack because you're going to be out for a long time. If the storms are starting at 1, 2, 3 o'clock, there's a good chance you're going to be out chasing till about 8, 9 o'clock at night, if not later. You're not going to want to stop for dinner because you're not going to want to give up a storm. So bring food with you and try to arrive in the general area of where you think the storms are going to be an hour in advance so that once the storms start forming, you can actually move to where you want to be, exactly where you want to be, and be ready to go.
Awesome. Rob, what's your favorite app for storm chasing? Just one name.
Radar Omega.
Yeah, Radar Omega.
Radar Omega is my new favorite. It used to be Radar Scope. It's also an excellent app. Nothing, in my opinion, nothing beats Radar Omega. Very interesting thing about storm chasers, we'll have lively discussions about everything.
Yeah.
And which app is your favorite is going to be one of them. But Radar Omega, if you're looking at the data that you want to be looking at, if you're looking at dew points, if you're looking at your locations, if you're looking at vertically integrated liquid and echo tops, and if you're looking at convective reflexivity, Radar Omega, to me, does it better than anyone else.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you.
And those terms, when I do my workshops, I go through what all those terms mean, why you're looking at those indicators, how you're doing it. You know, we go into detail on so that if you're by yourself, you can do it yourself. It's outside the scope of this presentation to go into that in detail. Mm-hmm. And I'll be honest with you, I am not a deep weather forecasting guy. I know enough to be able to chase storms. There are people that have a lot more knowledge than me, but I have the knowledge I need to be able to find the storms and chase it. So this shot was taken at Animas last year, Animas, New Mexico. But storm chasing gear recommendations, you want a DSLR mirrorless camera. You want to have a lightning trigger. MK controls lightning. But by the way, I put a link on the raffle. If you click my link, I am an affiliate with them. You'll get free shipping. Breakthrough Photos too. If there's a link on the raffle entry form, if you want to, I think there's a link on the form. If you're interested in absolutely outstanding filters, lenses. I've always got my 16 to 35, my 24 to 70, my 70 to 200, the Holy Trinity, and a 50 millimeter. A great storm chaser told me years ago, I asked him, what's your favorite lens? And he said the 50 millimeter. And at the time I was like, he's lying to me. I have captured more keeper shots with the 50 millimeter than any other lens that I shoot. So I never go anywhere without the 50 millimeter. intervalometer. You want a sturdy tripod. You want a rock solid, sturdy tripod. When a storm starts to outflow and the winds start to pick up, or if you're close and you're getting really heavy winds, I typically shoot 3 cameras during monsoon season, and I can't tell you how many times I've tried to be an octopus to grab 3 tripods at the same time when a gust comes through. And you can get 50, 60, 70 mile an hour gusts. 40, 30 is not unusual. You want a blower. We're in the desert. You're going to have dust being kicked up. You want to keep your gear clean. A lot of storm photographers are not fans of rain covers. A lot of storm photographers don't get as close when they're alone to storms as I do. I never take my classes to as close as I'll sometimes go. We'll usually shoot 10 to 15 miles out, maybe a little bit closer. I've been known to go 3 miles out, which is absolutely not recommended. Don't do it. It's dangerous. But if you're going to do it, you're going to need a rain cover, because otherwise you're going to be sending your gear back for service. You want a cell phone with your apps on them, Radar Omega. I also like NOAA, NOAA's Climb app. There's dozen apps. Anybody here that wants to email me, I will send them a sheet with all the apps and all this information on it. I'm happy to do so. I'll just send that out to anybody who's interested.
Awesome.
ND filters.
Guys, don't forget PhotoPills to know where the sun is setting, so you can choose usually the spot.
Yeah, I'm so sorry, Raphael. So I would not go out storm chasing without PhotoPills, and that may be counterintuitive, but every one of my prime shooting spots is mapped on PhotoPills. And so as another variable in where I'm going to decide to go, once I know where the storms are heading, is which locations are going to put me in the best light to shoot. That rainbow example, okay? Where am I going to be? So if I have the option of picking 3 or 4 different locations where I'm likely to get great shots, I'm going to use PhotoPills and figure out where the light is going to be best, and that's where I'm going to go.
Awesome.
ND filters, a 6-stop is critical. A 3-stop is advisable. A variable neutral density, it can work. I know B&W makes a very good variable neutral density filter. I used it for years. It's excellent. And a CPL. The CPL is important for another reason also. The same reason you want to have a blower. When you've got a lot of dust and dirt being kicked up, you want to protect your lens. And I know that that Breakthrough makes a CPL that when it's not engaged is almost perfectly clear. So you're not changing your settings to account for CPL darkening your shot, but you are protecting the front of your lens from getting dust in it. Extra batteries and a notebook if you're going to want to download your pictures right away. Storm chasing websites, the U of A Hydrology Lab, the WRF, the College of DuPain Satellite and Radar, College of DuPain Numerical Data, Arizona WRF discussion, the Storm Prediction Center, and I find very helpful, because I'm not, a deeply entrenched weather person, is the glossary of weather terms, so that when people that are much more knowledgeable than me are talking about things, I can look up what they're talking about and research it and become better at this. Mm-hmm. Storm chasing apps, Radar Omega. Do I have Oh, Raphael, you should shoot me. Radar Omega is a must. Radar Scope is also great. Lightning Pro, great app. Climb NOAA, My Radar, Google Maps, and PhotoPills. Do not go out without PhotoPills. I don't.
Awesome, thank you.
So storm chasing workshops. We have some openings in our July 20th to 24th workshop, our July 27th to 31st workshop, our August 3rd to 7th workshop, and our August 10th to 14th. We also have the ability to do single day and multi-day workshops where you put together your own days. We cover pre-planning, how to chase, shooting the storm, and how to post-process. And post-process is actually very important in storm chasing, and we go in depth on how to post-process your shots. And that, my friends, is it.
Awesome. Thank you, Rob. We have many questions.
All right, I'm ready, I hope.
You ready? Awesome. We have Deborah Bird that is asking, what wide angle lens do you use the most? The one that you use the most.
So if you want to consider a 50 millimeter wide angle, I don't, but my 24 to 70 is probably the lens that's always on my camera. If I'm shooting the 16 to 35, I'm probably too close to the storm.
Awesome. Steve Lawrence, do you prefer MK triggers or MIOPs? MIOPs.
I am just going to leave this at, I swear by MK Controls triggers, and you would never catch me with a MIOPs trigger. I have students that have had extraordinarily difficult time capturing bolts with the MIOPs. But I've never had a problem with the MK Controls, and I capture as many, if not more, bolts than more expensive triggers with that trigger.
Awesome. Good to know. They have Phil. Will an infrared modified camera pick up the pre-burst before the big bolt?
That's a great question, and I cannot answer that right now, but I just started shooting infrared, and I plan on having an infrared camera out with me for every storm this season. So if you follow me on Facebook or Instagram, you'll probably see shots with infrared. If it works, I don't even know if it's going to work, but if it works, and we'll find out together.
Yeah, I'm sure the clouds and the grass and everything is going to look amazing. Like
it's going to look if it works, I think the shots are going to look incredible.
Awesome. Have you ever used one of these filters that make the stars glow, like to make them bigger? Do you?
No.
For lighting?
I do use and I was a long time coming to it. I now will not shoot without a night sky filter during Milky Way. MK Controls, not MK, Breakthrough Filters has an amazing night sky filter. I thought that they were garbage. I said they were no good. They sent me the filter to try. I saw the way it took out the ambient light and changed and really magnified the color of the sky. So for Milky Way, I won't shoot without a night sky filter anymore.
Awesome. Very interesting. Dave Panchot, does Radar Omega work outside the US?
I don't know.
Okay. Something Dave,
I might be able to answer that for Mexico if I can ever get into Mexico safely. Mexico gets some massive storms, but right now it's just not safe to really go in there to shoot. But I'm hoping within the next year or two that we'll be able to go across the border and shoot storms in Mexico.
Interesting. Lori Myers, how many people do you take on your workshops regularly?
I will not take more than 6 people on a workshop. Workshops are interesting. You've got to get the ones that fit the style that you like. I teach at a college, also photography at a college. I do teacher workshops. I don't typically shoot during my workshops. My philosophy is I'm there to help you get your shots. There's nothing wrong with workshops where the guides take you out to locations so you can get your shots. But that's just not my style. And I spend a lot of time with my students if they need it. So I find that I can't really give them the time they're entitled to if I have more than 5 or 6 people in the workshop.
Awesome. Yeah, it's a good ratio. Then we have Steve Cologne. What about the Pluto trigger? It's all about triggers.
Pluto trigger.
Pluto trigger.
I stand by MK Controls, and I strongly would recommend anybody who's looking for a trigger to get the MK Controls trigger.
Do you have the MK controller with you now?
Yeah. As a matter of fact, give me a second. Where is it? Oh,
because we have Terry.
We're going to do an unboxing. We're going to do. Can you see? We're going to do an unboxing.
Yeah.
So
people are interested in learning how to use it. You can make a short demo, or
I can. Well, it's tough to make a demo, but let's see. So, well, actually, I'm not going to be able to do that with this one. Let me get one that has a battery in it.
Awesome.
Which is in the car. Okay. I'll show you on this one. Why is it in the car? Because although we're not supposed to get storms today, I'm going to be ready if it is, if we go.
Nice.
So this is what a trigger looks like, and most of them look fairly similar to this. Some of them will have controls in different places. If I was going to say there's any downside to MK Controls, is that they put the controls on the top, which once you learn how to use it doesn't make a big difference because you know where they are. But learning how to use it, if the trigger happens to be above your eye line, can be challenging. But all triggers are going to have some sort of meter on them. You're going to turn it on. You can adjust your sensitivity higher and lower. And basically, you're going to put it in the hot shoe of your camera. You're going to have a dedicated cable for your camera. Every camera uses a different cable. That's an interesting cable he sent me. Give me a second.
Don't worry, take your time.
Hopefully he didn't send all of them with the same cable. Huh. All right. You're going to have a cable with a male end that's going to plug into the trigger, and the other end is going to plug into your camera. Most Canons use a 3-pin, and then you're going to power it on. You're going to point it to the storm, and you're gonna wait. Now, for your camera, you don't want to shoot in live screen mode because you're going to get fewer strikes. You do not want to chimp when you're shooting lightning. In other words, you don't want to be looking after every strike if you captured it, because you're going to miss the next strike. Mm-hmm. And you want to turn auto review. A lot of people shoot with 2-second review or 4-second review. You want to make sure you're on no review, because again, you don't want to be taking time away from the next strike to capture. Does that make sense? Does that help?
Yes. Yeah. All the tricks you can share with the audience today and get the actual shots are more than welcome. Thank you. Okay, more photos. Jack, will the live composite feature on the Olympus camera work?
Could you say that again, please?
Yeah, the live composite feature on Olympus. You know that Olympus has this feature.
I have no idea. Where
you shoot and it's capturing light and it's showing you the photo revealing live.
I have no idea.
Awesome. Raul Cortez Espinosa, do you ever run a video and then take a still from the video?
I do not. I also have not done time lapses, but I'll be doing a lot of time lapses this year. And if I happen to capture shots during the time lapse, then I'll probably use them. But I want to capture more of the entire storm and make that into a video. I don't really shoot storms as video.
Interesting. Then we have Randy Rossum. What's your white balance setting?
It's typically daylight.
Great. And then we have Jessica Catharsis. Can you talk about how you inform yourself to get to the location an hour ahead of time? So
Sure. So I think the question is, how do I know where I'm going to go?
yeah.
Okay. So let me see if I can do this. Okay, Raphael, is it possible to change which screen I'm sharing?
I'm seeing a map now with all these colors.
Okay, great. So this is from August 3rd, 2022. That positive strike in Naco was that day. So this is radar scope, and what you're looking at is the super res reflexivity, which is the echo sounds of what's happening in the atmosphere. So yellow is good, blue is bad, and red is great, and pink is run away, run away, run away. So you can see I have some spots marked on here. I happen to be shooting from this spot, Hereford Road 92. So I'm going to play this. So you can see how the storm came through. So in answer to the question, this is San Jose Mountain right here. You can see the storm is very strong coming through here. And I would also be looking at vertically integrated liquid and echo tops. So around the time I'm in the field and looking at radar, this is what I'm looking for. Earlier in the day, did the screen switch to the other? Okay. So earlier in the day, that's a good, I like that. I'm looking at dew points. That's a nice dew point in Sierra Vista. We're happy about that. And I don't think I'm going to show it. So this is why I like Radar Omega. What we used to do in multiple websites, and a lot of chasers still do, I find I can get in Radar Omega. So what we're looking at right now is the single site radar. And I'm on the wrong satellite. It's right here. Okay, so you have to turn the satellite on. So now you can start seeing the dew points and the and such. But I can go to the different models. So the HER model, and we're probably not going to see anything because I don't think we have anything coming through today. But I can go. This last sounding was at 16Z. Everything in storm chasing is Greenwich Mean Time. And for here, it's Greenwich Mean Time -7. But this, they've already done it. So this is actually right. And I can hit go. And what will happen is you'll see it loading on top. And then you'll start seeing over here where it's running through the models. Now, there's nothing really happening here. But here you can see it. So now this is showing me a projection of what's going to happen during the day. So the day of, I'm looking a lot at this, and if I was here, I'd be looking at where these storms were heading, and I'd be making my decisions based on this. The other models I can look at the NAM 3K, see if that's a complete run. And again, different type of sounding, giving you a little bit of a different perspective and picture. They're usually pretty close, but again, I can see what's going to be happening and make my decisions. Now, if I want to go further out, I can go to longer range models. So I can go to the NAM, the RAP. and this will give me a more long-term forecast. So if you look at the valid dates here, when I play this, you'll look and you'll see this one is going to go to the 8th. So it's a day ahead. So now I'm a day ahead looking at what's possibly going to happen. This is a great indicator of, what you're going to get, where you might get it. But this stuff falls apart the day of, because storms are going to do what storms are going to do. But this is basically how I do my planning. There's more sophisticated models that you can use online. And if you need them, but that's how I do my planning. Did that answer the question?
Yeah, thank you. It's super interesting. It's something that we love to include in PhotoPills in the future. Weather and all this stuff is unbelievable.
Oh, if you want to put this in PhotoPills, I'll use PhotoPills exclusively.
Yeah, slowly we'll get there. Okay, more questions. We have Adrian and Drago. How far away are you from the store when shooting?
So my answer is going to be 15 miles to anybody that's listening to this presentation. If your
wife is not listening, so
pardon?
Your wife is not listening to us, so you can tell the truth. You can speak the truth.
But I've been known to go as close as 3 miles. I do not ever recommend going that close to a storm. But 5 miles, 10 miles. I've been as close as a mile. It's stupid. It really is. I've done it in the excitement of the chase, not paying attention. There have been times where I've been that close where I've run very quickly to the bathroom afterwards. When a strike has been too close. But really 10, 15 miles, you're going to be able to get great shots.
And that applies to the workshops too, or workshops you're more playing on the safe side?
Workshops, I'm always playing on the safe side.
Yeah.
Workshops, I always playing on the safe side.
Yeah. Actually, we have a question from Brad Perry about how, when you're in the field, what informs your decision that is not longer safe to stay in a location?
Well, the wrong answer would be when my hair stands up.
Yeah.
But I'm looking at a few different things. I'm looking at where the lightning strike. I'm looking in the field to see where the storm is. I'm also looking at radar where the lightning is currently going. I'm looking at the direction of the storm, whether the storm is coming at me or going in front of me. I might get closer and stay longer if a storm is passing in front of me than I would if a storm is coming at me.
Yeah. No.
So I'm paying attention to a lot of different factors. I'm also paying very close attention to the storms that I'm not shooting, because very often you've got multiple cells and they're in different directions. That's why I shoot multiple cameras. There could be a cell developing behind me. I need to know exactly what that's doing, because I don't want that coming up on me while I'm so focused on what's in front of me. So I'm looking at a lot of different factors in the field as to, when it's time to get out.
Awesome. This is so much fun. Another question from Jessica Catharsis. Do you have anticipated points and watch projections of the storm cell and then make your decision where to go?
Yes.
Okay.
I have probably in Cochise County and Santa Cruz County, where I do a lot of my shooting. I probably have 40 sites that I know and I've scouted and that I know are going to be capable of getting a great shot if the storm happens to be going that way. And as I said, I'm anticipating where the storms are going to go. I'm going to central location. of where I think they're going. And as the storms start to develop, I'll start to move to different sites that will probably, hopefully, be most productive.
Awesome, awesome. And the last two questions from Catherine O'Hara. All the apps work in remote locations where there is no cell phone service?
Oh, absolutely not. Nope.
Okay.
Nope. And when you're out here, there's two times that an app isn't going to help you out. There are so all the apps are working off radar. So if you've got a tall mountain in between the radar and you're going to have a dead spot where you're not going to be able to see what's happening because the radar can't get through the mountain. That's one situation that no matter where you are, you're not going to see the data. The other time is when you're in a zone where there's no cell service, you're not going to be able to see. So if I know that I'm heading, and those areas are becoming fewer and fewer, but we still are in a very rural area here. So if I know that I'm heading into an area that's going to have bad service or poor service, I'm just going to try to, on my way there, get my last good data before I get there, and then I'm going to watch the storms and see what they're doing.
Awesome.
Nothing is more important than watching the storms and seeing what they're doing. It's very easy to get sucked into the radar and not look at the storm, but the storm is actually going to tell you what it's doing.
Yeah, good advice. Arwinder Nagy is asking if the subscription for Omega Radar Omega is worth it or recommended.
So one of the nice things about both Radar Scope and Radar Omega is that you can do monthly subscriptions. So what a lot of people will do is they'll take the subscription for, say, June, July, August, and September, and then they'll cancel the subscription and they'll take it again the next year.
Yeah. Good to know. More questions. Hawkeye. What camera do you use?
I have a Canon 5D4 and two Canon 5D3s, and if everybody signs up and fills up my workshops, I'll be buying an R5.
Wow, nice. So
I'd love to shoot an R5.
PhotoPills community support Rob. He deserves it. Okay. And then one more question about personal thing for you. Joe Avani, are you originally from Brooklyn, New York City?
No, I'm from Long Island. You can't tell the accent?
Well, I don't know.
I'm from Long Island. Now, I'll tell you something. The only thing I miss about being in New York is there's no decent pizza out here. There's no decent Chinese food out here. They don't even know what a bagel is. All they got is a piece of bread with a finger stuck through it. I mean, the food, you're not coming out here because of the food, but for every other reason, I love it out here.
What about coffee?
I grind my own.
Okay.
And coffee, actually, we have great coffee out here.
Nice. Because Scotty, your friend, was asking, what let me see, what app did you use to get rid of your hiccups?
What app did I use to get what?
To get rid of your hiccups.
What app did I use?
Yeah,
I used a strong cup of coffee.
the coffee app.
The coffee app. Nothing better than the coffee app.
Okay, more questions. Lonnie Smart, is there more lighting at the front of the storm or rear of it?
So that's a great question. As a general rule, in a storm, when you're looking at the, you can be somewhat misled by the reflexivity, because a lot of people will. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
So, let's see if I can get a storm somewhere.
Come to Spain.
Yeah, I would love to shoot lightning in Spain. I'm trying to find a storm that that looked like it might work. No, nothing's really developed there yet. It's just easier if I can show you this.
Oh, by the way, in the meantime, I'm sharing the link of the raffle here live on the screen.
Oh, okay.
So feel free to go to the guys to the link here. Awesome.
So let's say I'm looking at this picture. Can everybody see it?
Yes.
All right. So some of the things I want to look at is this. See if I can find one. So, well, first of all, this just making my stomach go flutter. When I see purple, I see happy. But what I have to pay attention to is and look at this. This is something Radar Omega does. Can you see it go 3D?
Oh.
So I can actually see it. But what some of the things that I have to watch out for is, let's say I was seeing a storm over here, right off of 287 here. Well, let's say this storm is developing and it looks like it's going to be good, except it's going to be rain shrouded. So I may not be able to get the lightning because it's going to have a huge wall of rain in front of it. Let's say I'm looking at this storm. This looks great. Okay, but well, find an area, find one that looks really good. Oh God, I wish I was there right now. So let's say I'm looking at this whole storm front coming in. One of the things I want to add to my decision on where I want to go, and I don't think you can see it in this. No, what I want to look at is real time are the echo tops and the vertically integrated liquid. So the more vertically integrated liquid, the more churning you're going to have at the top end of the cloud. The echo top is going to tell me how high the cloud is, and the vertically integrated liquid is going to tell me how tumultuous or violent it is inside that cloud. And I want violence inside a cloud. I want everything moving around. I want the hail moving around because that's what's going to create the electricity that is going to end up as lightning. So I can look at this and say, where was that purple? Say this is great, but I can look at somewhere over here and say, wow, but the vertically integrated liquid is great and the echo tops are huge. And there's not as much of a front in front of this rain wall in front of this. I'm going to probably go to here because I've got a better chance of capturing strikes where I don't have something in front of me. I've got a lot of activity in the cloud and I've got a really high cloud. I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, 100%. So you usually prefer like a high cloud than low clouds for storms.
Yeah. So yeah, storms come from rising moisture from convection, and as the cloud grows, you'll see all these cumulus clouds on the horizon, and you'll watch them grow. They're actually beautiful to just sit and watch them start to tower up into the sky, and then they get to a certain point where they've got more water than they can handle, more, and then they start their outflow and they start to dump the water, and that's when you start to get your lightning.
Awesome. Rob, I think it's time to show again the dates of your workshops.
Sure.
Because this presentation has been amazing. And I'm also sharing the link of the raffle live here. So guys, if you're interested in entering the raffle, we have amazing breakthrough filters, and also MK
controls.
M controls. So please go to the link using the screen and fill in the raffle, because today Rob will choose the winners. And here you have the storm chasing workshops.
Yep. So storm chasing workshops, July 20th to 24th, July 27th to 31st, the 3rd through the 7th, and the 10th for the 14th. If you go to rgallucci.com and click on workshops and clinics, there'll be a link to the storm chasing page, which gives you more details, and also my New York workshops and other workshops. Next year's, I believe I have next year's Bisbee workshop up there, the Milky Way in the town that turns off the light. And if those dates don't work for you, or you want to split, you want to come in on the 5th and leave on the 11th, I have a section of the sign-up site that allows you to pick your own days and customize your workshop. So you can do that. And if you have trouble getting that to work for you, just call me, tell me the dates that you want to come out, and we'll work it out. I'd love to see everybody there. I'd really love to see everybody there, but I'd love to have you join me. It's a lot of fun. It's more excitement in photography than I think you'll ever imagine.
Oh yeah, these unique moments that you carefully plan, and then if you're lucky, happen. I mean, they're just amazing. We've been, in the Aurora chase with Rachel Jones in the Canadian Rockies. So lucky to have 12 hours or KP7 one night. It's like the storm chasing. You never know what's going to happen.
Right.
You need to be there to make it happen. So.
If you're not there, you're never going to get it.
For sure. Rob, this presentation has been amazing. I think still 223 people live. We've been over 300.
Nice.
For almost 1 hour. So thank you so much for your great presentation and for sharing your passion on chasing the storms. I would love definitely to join you one day.
You are
maybe do
Raphael,
PhotoPills expedition on storm chasing. I think PhotoPills community would love to do that too. Yeah.
That could be a lot of fun.
And any other last words you want to say before we say goodbye?
I just want to, thank everyone for joining us today. I hope you found it helpful, and enjoyable. And I'm looking forward to hearing from you. And again, if you send me an email, if you want the detail sheets of, the equipment and everything, or if you sign up for the raffle, I'll have your email. Why don't I just, I'll send everybody who signs up for the raffle a sheet that gives all the information I talked about today.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. So everybody wins.
Everybody wins.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Rob. Thank you so much, everybody, for spending this 1 hour and 12 minutes with us, with all of us, learning cool stuff, having a lot of fun. And again, last reminder: you have the workshops, Rob's workshops on the website, on his website, and also the link of the raffle right on the screen now. Last opportunity. Well, not the last opportunity, because this video will be available right after we stop recording. Yeah, I'm sorry, Raphael. So what I'll do is, for people that want, I'll leave the raffle open till like 4 o'clock Mountain Standard Time. Awesome.
And so if somebody comes in afterwards to see it, they can still join. But I'll say it now. 4 o'clock is going to be the hard deadline to enter the raffle. Yes. Good to know, because the raffle is for rewarding you people that's right. Right live with us. So join the raffle, because we're about to say goodbye. Bye guys. And as always, if you like this video, give us a like, subscribe, and I'll see you next Wednesday with another video. And remember that you have the power to imagine, plan, and shoot legendary photos. Bye guys. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you, Sandra. Bye. Thank you, Rob. You're welcome.